This episode from the life of Sherlock Holmes was adapted from the original radio drama ran by Denis Greene and Anthony Boucher, which aired December 3rd, 1945. High Tech High Mace's theater department and Team Lemonade brings you Return to the Radio with Sherlock Holmes. Before we begin, I must tell you about an upcoming High Tech High Mesa project, Genes in Space, and invites you to join Dr. Watson as he shares another exciting adventure along with Master Detective Sherlock Holmes. You know, family is so important. Have you ever wondered where you get your genes or where you're from? Well, you're able to learn about your past very soon. There is an interactive website designed and created by our very own 11th graders. On the website, you'll be able to trace your family and genes around the world in a safe virtual space. As they always say, being an excellent detective runs in the genes. And now, let's visit our old friend and host, Dr. Watson. Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening. Please have a seat.
Thanks. So, Doctor, I hear that tonight's story took place in the Casbah in Algiers.
Yes, the Casbah. I remember it as a place of countless streets winding up and down past colorful cafes where 100 languages were spoken, and often street would end in a shadowy darkness, which a man would be foolhardy to enter alone. Yes, that was the Casbah that Sherlock Holmes and I knew in the winter of '99.
Well, how did you happen to be out there, Doctor?
Do you mind if I tell you the story from the start? It began on a wintry night on Baker Street, following a murder at Montrevor Castle. A charming young girl sat on the sofa of our lodgings in Baker Street and talked to us.
But Detective Holmes, you can't say you have nothing more to do with the Montrevors.
My dear Miss Tetfield, I found the true murderer of the Dowager Countess, and he committed suicide. Surely the case is ended.
Yes, you found the real murderer, but now I want you to find the unfortunate young man who fled England 5 years ago and who's suspected of the crime.
This is a new development, Miss Tetfield. Please tell us about it.
It's Douglas Milton that I'm talking about.
Oh, yes. He was the heir to the title, wasn't he?
Yes, he was a sensitive, autistic boy, and when he knew he was under suspicion, he ran away.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, everyone regarded his fight as an admission of guilt. That is until you found the real culprit.
I imagine, Miss Tetfield, that your interest in the missing boy is not entirely, shall we say, altruistic.
I'm in love with him, Dr. Watson. We
Oh,
were engaged to be married when he ran away. Please, you've got to find him. He must know that his name has been cleared and that he's inherited the title.
Miss Tetfield, have you any direct news, any letter from your fiancé since he left 5 years ago?
None.
Any clues as to his hiding place?
Only this. It's a painting I received anonymously a year after he had left. It was
Oh,
sent from a forwarding address. Here it is.
thank you.
a small oil painting. Very good one, too, I'd say.
Yes, it's a splendid sense of composition, and his use of color is unusually brilliant. Do you recognize this painting as the work of your fiancé, Miss Tetfield?
I'm certain of it.
Yes, wonderful use of color. Observe the delicate shadings of that sunset and the brilliant green of the oasis. This scene is extraordinarily reminiscent of the desert in North Africa.
Yes, that's what made me say I was certain he'd gone abroad.
But why should he go to North Africa?
A good place, Watson, for an Englishman who imagines himself to be escaping justice. Remember, the Foreign Legion is stationed there.
Do you think he might have joined the Legion?
It would seem logical. No questions are asked of those who join it, and its colorful obscurity might easily appeal to a young fellow in trouble. Hello!
What is it, Holmes?
There are quite a few grains of sand in between the canvas and the frame here. Miss Tutfield, do you mind if I pry the canvas loose?
Do anything you like if it gives you any clue to Douglas's whereabouts.
Give me your penknife, will you, Watson?
Here you are.
Thanks, old chap. Wait a minute. Here we are.
Can you see anything?
Uh-huh. Look. The words sheriff and Al Afron are stamped here. The sheriff is probably the framer's name, and Al Afron is a town some 50 miles from Algiers. That settles it, Miss Tetfield. I accept your case. Watson and I will go to Africa and try to find your fiancé, Douglas Milton.
Detective Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, I've heard of you so often, but I never thought I should see you here at the headquarters of the Foreign Legion. What can I do for you?
Well, Colonel de Brisson, I am trying to trace an Englishman who has been missing during the past 4 years. I have reason to believe that he might have joined the Legion.
I should look at my records. Let me see. 4 years ago would be 1895. If Sherlock Holmes is tracking him, then I suppose he's in trouble in his own country. If he was in trouble, he might have easily come to us. We ask no questions. 97, 96, 95. In that year, 3 young Englishmen joined us. One of them died of dysentery 2 years ago in Iran. One of them deserted 18 months ago and have been unable to trace him. The third is my assistant who just brought you in the office just now.
And he is, I would say, about 3 inches shorter than Douglas Milton. And men do not shrink in the Foreign Legion, eh, Colonel?
Indeed, they don't.
Then the fellow who deserted must be our man.
Unless it's the one who died of dysentery. Colonel de Brisson, how would you advise us to set about trying to find a deserter?
There's only one place in Algeria where a person can hide from the Foreign Legion and remain hidden.
Oh? And what's that place?
The Casbah in Algiers.
Then that's our destination, Watson.
Be very careful, please. The Casbah is a place where the law is exiled. The police have no jurisdiction there. The only rule is of strength, violence, and trickery.
We shall be very cautious, I assure you. Goodbye, Colonel de Brisson, and thank you for your help.
Well, I must say that I think Colonel de Brisson rather exaggerated the dangers of the Casbah. I suppose you're going to tell me this cafe is the headquarters for a dope smuggling ring or something.
Its ramifications are even more extensive than those you've mentioned.
You're joking, Holmes.
I assure you I'm not, old fellow.
What?
My old friend Dumel is chief of police in Algiers. When I told him our mission, he advised me to come here. A 500-franc note, and the proprietor can obtain any and all information regarding the underworld. For as little as 200 francs, she can arrange a murder. So that gives you some idea of the relative values in the Casbah?
Good lord, then you've already spoken to the proprietor.
Oh, yes, yes. A charming scoundrelly lass by the name of Rafi. I gave her 500 francs and asked her to set her underworld grapevine in motion to see whether an Englishman living in hiding here in the Casbah could be found.
And I thought we'd come here for a quiet meal.
Here comes Rafi now. Let's hope she has news for us. Here we are, Rafi. Come sit down, won't you?
I work fast, don't I, Miss Holmes? Your friend is?
My friend knows that you're working with me. What have you found out?
A drink first. I'm parched. Would you have me die of thirst before I give my news? Waiter, Dom Paragon.
Oui, Mademoiselle Rafi.
You have news for me then?
But yes.
Good. What is it?
First, you'll pay me more money, no?
But I gave you 500 francs. You said you'd do the job for that.
Can I help it if some things are more costly than others? It took the 500 to get the news. Am I nothing for my troubles?
Dom Perignon, Mademoiselle Rafi.
Oh, good. Holmes will pay for it.
There you are.
Merci, Mademoiselle.
I will drink to your health, the both of you. You will pay me more, yes?
But my friend's already given you 500. You should stick to your bargain, my good friend.
My information is a bargain at 750 francs. It would be a bargain at 1,000, but I'll let you have it for 750 because I like you.
I see.
You'll give it to me, right?
And if I refuse?
Then you get no information, and perhaps I spread the news in the Casbah that makes it uncomfortable for you to be there.
Great Scott, this is blackmail!
I get the money, no?
You're a scoundrel, Rafi.
Of course I'm a scoundrel.
Here's your money. The information.
There's an Englishman hiding here in the Casbah. I do not know his name, but he's tall and fair-haired. I cannot tell you where he lives, but if you go to the cafe of 1,000 Sighs, you'll find a girl who sings there. A girl who sings like a nightingale. Her name is Aisha, and she'll lead you to the Englishman.
A girl named Aisha in the Cafe of 1,000 Sighs?
That's right. I should suggest you go there in disguise. 2 well-dressed Englishmen might find themselves in trouble. For a small fee, say 200 francs, I'll escort you there myself.
Thank you. Yes, I think we can manage by ourselves, Rafi.
Oh, if your business is concluded quickly and time weighs heavily on your hands, I can take you to some places of rare interest, dancing girls that wither one's eyeballs with their beauty, for 500 francs.
Thank you, Rafi, thank you. I have a feeling that time will not weigh heavily on our hands. Good night.
You work too hard. You should learn how to play. Good night.
Upon my soul, I think our friend's the biggest scam artist I ever met.
I quite agree, old fellow, but she is amusing.
By the way, Holmes, don't you think that when this case is finished, we might have some time on our hands?
Oh, Watson, you're incorrigible. But I think... Watson,
What is it?
look at the man sitting over in the corner by himself.
By Jove, yes, his face seems familiar. We've seen him before somewhere.
Of course we have. His name is Oliver Leeming. We met him at the inquest on the Montrevor case.
So we did. Now, what on earth do you suppose he's doing here in the Casbah?
Not on a holiday, I'm sure. Mr. Oliver Leeming, if you recall, is a cousin of Douglas Milton's, the man we're searching for. If Milton were ever declared legally dead, Mr. Leeming over there would inherit the title.
It looks to me as if we're not the only people in the Casbah who are searching for the missing heir.
That's true, old fellow. Come on, let's go and talk to the gentleman. Mr. Oliver Leeming, how very odd to meet you here.
Well, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, won't you sit down?
Thank you.
World's a small place, isn't it? Or somebody said that before. I wondered if you spotted me over here in the corner.
Oh, you saw us then?
Of course, but you seem to be in such deep conversation with that scoundrel Rafi. I didn't like to disturb you.
Very considerate of you, I'm sure. Why are you here, Mr. Leeming?
Oh, I'm making a business trip. This is my day off.
As I recall it, you're in the publishing business?
Correct. What a memory you have, Detective Holmes.
It seems peculiar that you should be on a business trip here. Are you planning on opening a publishing house in Algiers? Or are you searching the Casbah for new authors?
Why not? I'm a great believer in encouraging new talent.
Mr. Leeming, why don't you admit that you're here for the express purpose of trying to find your cousin, Douglas Milton?
Well, you discovered my secret. The great Sherlock Holmes and her watchdog have their eagle eyes on me. They know that I succeed the title if Douglas Milton dies.
Yes, Mr. Leeming, we know that fact.
And you have fathomed my plan to find Douglas before you and kill him, so that I may inherit the title. How lucky I am to meet you in the Casbah, where you cannot arrest me. Well, it's a race against time now, but I have a head start, as you'll soon find out. Goodbye, and the best of luck to you.
One extraordinary fellow. He's joking, of course.
I believe not, Watson. I think he labors under the whimsical belief that the best method of discounting the truth is to state it baldly so that it will not be believed.
Great Scott, then we must work fast.
Yes, old chap, we must. I am sure that we're entrants in a race against death. We must first get back to the hotel and into our disguises as quickly as possible. After that, we shall visit a young lady named Aisha in the Cafe of 1,000 Sighs. And I am certain, Watson, that it will be the first time two people have ever entered the Casbah for the express purpose of preventing a murder.
Before the show resumes, I have time to remind you about the mega expedition that's planned for our 11th graders. While exploring their work, you'll get the extraordinary opportunity to learn about their past and present of genetics with the help of presentations and interactive websites created by our 11th graders at High Tech High Mesa, along with some help from professional scientists in the greater San Diego area. Well, Doctor, I can hardly wait to hear what happened next. You went Sherlock Holmes went back to the hotel, I suppose.
Yes, we did. Holmes quickly adopted the disguise of an Arab guide while I assumed the role of a tourist, and we started off on our search. Outside the Cafe of 1,000 Sighs, we met with a rude shock. Good Lord! It's the fellow we met in the cafe!
Yes, Oliver Leeming, with a knife between his shoulders.
He's dead, Holmes. Shouldn't we get in touch with the police?
What can they do? Remember, there is no law in the Casbah. In any case, this man is beyond our help. Our job is to protect the living. Come on, old fellow. Let's go to the Cafe of 1,000 Sighs and find this girl, Aisha. The girl Rafi says sings like a nightingale.
C'est si bon. Lovers say that in France, when they thrill to romance, it means that it's so good. C'est si bon. So I say it to you, like the French people do, because it's oh so good. Every word, every sigh, every kiss, dear, leads to only one thought, and it's this dear. C'est bon. Nothing else can replace the slightest embrace. You only would be my own for the rest of my days. I will whisper this phrase. My darling, c'est bon.
Oh, so that's the girl, Aisha. She's very beautiful.
Don't forget our role of tourist and guide, old chap. Master, would you wish to meet this Aisha?
Oh, very much indeed.
I will see if it can be arranged, Master. Wait for me here, Watson. I'll see what I can do.
Right you are, Holmes. Be careful now.
Mademoiselle Aisha?
What do you want, greasy one?
There is an Englishman at the table over there. He wishes to talk to the great Aisha.
Which one is he?
The man who sits at the table in the corner. He is very rich, Aisha, and he admires you a great deal. He told me to give you this 500-franc note.
Very well. You may bring him to my room. The door's at the top of the stairway to the right.
Good, Aisha. I'll fetch him.
I shall be waiting.
Aisha will see you now, Master. Follow me, please.
Oh, very well. I hope you know how you're going to handle this, Holmes.
Don't worry, Watson. In this case, I think honesty will be the best policy.
Well, I'm not so sure. This place is a thief's kitchen if I ever saw one. You'd better be careful.
First door to the right at the top of the stairs. This is it.
Come in. Oh, come and sit over here, good sir. Greasy one, you may leave us now.
Mademoiselle Aisha, I may as well tell you at once that I'm not an Arab guide. My name is Detective Sherlock Holmes.
What do you want with me? Why trick your way in here?
Don't be frightened, mademoiselle. I can explain our mission in very few words. My friend and I have come in search of an Englishman by the name of Douglas Milton. We have good news for him.
What makes you think I might know of him?
A lady by the name of Rafi suggested that you might.
What is your good news for this man?
That he has been cleared of suspicion of murder and that he is the rightful Earl of Montrever.
That means that when he knows this, he will leave the Casbah and return to his country?
Naturally, my dear.
I don't know this man. I've never heard of him. But here are your 500 francs. Goodbye.
Not so fast, Aisha, my darling. I've been listening from behind these curtains. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Douglas Milton.
Douglas Milton! We found you at last!
It gives me infinite pleasure to have succeeded in my mission. How do you do, sir?
This is very exciting.
It is indeed.
Yes, I think the occasion calls for a drink. What will it be?
Oh, I think a glass of port would be very nice.
Yes, it would be most appropriate for toasting the new Earl of Montrever.
Splendid, splendid. Aisha, bring glasses and a bottle of port and some creme de menthe for me.
You are not going back to England. I won't let you leave me.
Oh, stop being so melodramatic, Aisha. Please bring 2 bottles and some glasses.
Very well. I'm sorry.
Detective Holmes, I can't tell you how I appreciate your trouble in coming all this way to find me, but well, I must tell you at once, there's one problem that makes it difficult for me to leave this country, you see. I deserted from the Foreign Legion.
Yes, we know that, my boy. That's how we first got onto your trail.
I shouldn't let that fact worry you, Mr. Milton. I'm certain the British consul in Algiers can arrange to have any charges dropped against a peer of the realm.
Oh, well, I never thought of that.
Here are the bottles.
You must excuse the glasses. Tumblers are hardly correct, I suppose, but well, it won't spoil the flavor, I'm sure. 2 glasses and port and creme de menthe for me. Only 3 glasses. Aisha, bring a glass for yourself.
I do not want to drink.
And I insist that you do. Bring a glass, Aisha.
Why should I drink if you're leaving me?
Mr. Milton, do you know Oliver Leeming?
Huh? Of course. He's my cousin, yes. He came here a half hour ago and threatened me.
Did you also know that he's lying dead in the street, murdered?
Well, yes. Yes, I did. And if we weren't in the Casbah, I wouldn't tell you this, but Aisha stabbed him. She followed him when he left here and killed him, and then slipped back just in time to sing her song a few moments ago. Oh, you need to look so shocked, Dr. Watson. Life is cheap in the Casbah. Come on, let's drink.
A toast to the new Earl of Montrevor.
Excuse me, sir. You took the wrong glass. You're drinking my port.
Oh, silly mistake. I can't bear port. Very English of me, I'm afraid. But, well, after all these years, I don't feel very English. I'll probably find it very hard to adjust myself to the old life when I go back. Or perhaps I should say if I go back.
Since you feel that way about it, Mr. Milton, why go? You can claim the title and revenues of the estate without leaving Algeria. You could stay here and live on the income.
I didn't realize that would be possible. Are you sure I could do that?
Oh, yes, I'm quite certain of it.
Hmm.
But if you doubt my word, I suggest we all adjourn to the British consulate in Algiers. They can put you straight on the matter.
That's a good idea. Let's go over there at once.
I have been listening. You are planning to leave me, and once you go from the Casbah, I shall never see you again.
Put down the knife, Aisha.
I will not let you go. You belong to me. If you try to leave now, I'll kill you.
Put down the knife, Aisha. You've done enough damage for one night.
What are you?
Put it down, you fool. Put it down.
Let me go. Let me go.
Aisha! Holmes, help me turn her over. She's dead, Mr. Milton.
Perhaps she twisted the knife on herself as she fell.
Yes, perhaps.
Poor Aisha.
It's a bloody path that leads to the Montrevor title, isn't it, Mr. Milton? Ah, well, I suggest that we see that this poor girl's body is taken care of, and then go to the British consulate without any further delay. Now that we're at the consulate, Mr. Milton, I suggest that you swear on oath that you are Douglas Milton, heir to the Montrevor estate. This lady is Commissioner of Oaths. Then we can go in and see the consul.
Very well.
Now raise your right hand and repeat after me. I hereby solemnly swear that I am Douglas Milton, the missing heir to the Montrevor estate.
I hereby swear that I'm Douglas Milton, missing here to the Montrevor estate.
Thank you, sir. Now, if you'll sign the statement here, these two can witness it.
There you are.
Thank you, sir. And now, if you will sign.
Yes, certainly.
Thank you. The document is now legal.
Splendid. Let's go over and see the council.
Not yet, my friend. Watson, this man is not Douglas Milton.
What the devil are you talking about?
There is no law in the Casbah, sir, so you cannot be punished for the murders of Mr. Leeming and the songstress Aisha that you committed there. But now that your excessive greed has tempted you here to Algiers, where you've been foolish enough to sign a false statement, I think we can at least settle you very nicely for desertion, false impersonation, forgery, and perjury.
Holmes, what do you mean?
The story should be obvious, old fellow. Oliver Leeming did track down the deserter. Recognition was uncertain after so many years, but at least it gave this gentleman the idea of impersonating the real Douglas Milton, a friend of his.
You have a lively imagination, Detective Holmes.
The real Douglas Milton died of dysentery 2 years ago in Oran. As soon as the idea of impersonating Milton was born, Leeming had to die.
Your theories are very interesting, but you haven't had a shred of proof. I said I'm Douglas Milton. How are you going to prove otherwise?
Very simply, my dear sir. Douglas Milton was a painter who excelled in the use of vivid colors. You, sir, suffer from the quite common malady of red-green color blindness. Less than an hour ago, you mistook a glass of port, which is red, for a glass of creme de menthe, which is green. I knew at once that you were an impostor.
You're smarter than I thought, Holmes. Goodbye.
Here, come back!
No, Watson. Don't go after him.
But we can't let him escape, Holmes.
Don't worry, old chap. He won't escape. I sent a message to Colonel de Brisson. If you go to the window, I think you'll find that the consulate is being watched. The Legion has a long memory for desertion. I don't think he'll get very far.
They got him, Holmes. Shot him as he was trying to run away.
A just death for him. He lived a life of violence and treachery. Watson, it's only fitting that he should die in the same manner.
Doctor, that was a swell story. Casbah seemed like a place full of interesting people from many different backgrounds.
Yes, indeed, there were people there from all corners of the world.
Sounds like another country I know.
Indeed.
You know, the 11th graders at High Mesa have been studying the exciting world of genetics. I've always wanted to learn more about my genes, explore my roots, and find out what my genes mean about me. I want to encourage you all to take this journey of self-exploration and learning with students of High Mesa. Many fascinating topics will be covered, and it will be a real shame to miss out. Discover the wonderful world of genetics with Genes in Space. Brought to you by High Mesa. Tonight's Sherlock Holmes adventure was performed live and was adapted from the radio drama ran by Denis Greene and Anthony Boucher, based on an incident in the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle story, The Crooked Man. This episode was directed by Damon J. Shear and assistant directors Lev Finzi and Julian Harris, with special thanks to Foley artist Ellie Maitland. Please take a moment to complete the survey linked in the description below. We would love to hear from you. Stay tuned for yet another Sherlock Holmes drama with the Case of the Dead Adventures at 5:30 right here on Lemonade TV. This has been a High Tech High Mesa production.